But so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
Good evening, sim racing fans, and welcome to the Lucas Oil Raceway at Indianapolis, located in the famed Indianapolis, Indiana, just down the road from IMS, for this evening's presentation of the ICARS International Championship Auto Racing Series Super Late Model Tour on LSRTV. It's a short track Sunday night, and we are under the lights tonight in Indianapolis for round 2 of 10 on the 2016 Super Late Model Tour. Tonight, the Spring Brawl 125, and we get set to get this one officially underway. Qualifying has come to a close earlier on in the evening, and we get set to get the field rolling here at the Lucas Oil Raceway. Green flag in the air, and they race it down to the quarter. Again, the field inversion from earlier in the race's qualifier session is what's going to determine where all these guys are going to end up stacking up. And right now it is Ty Majeski's number 91 machine. That car was scored third in the qualifier, ends up being second on the grid for this, and he takes his field to the green flag. We are officially underway to the 91 machine. Again, that paint scheme mimics his actual car in real life, sponsored by iRacing on board. 0.6 of a second already out to the good. You'll see the ticker scroll across the top of your screen with the standings as they go. But right now, the first battle on the racetrack is a battle for P2. The Lucas Oil Raceway, always a very interesting facility to race at. You got to go up high in contact now for P2. That's the 05 up on the high side of that one. He got hit by James Linkowitz. That's Todd Cousins' machine. The 05 looks like he got a little bit of a tap. That was a side-by-side fight. Contact could have shuffled him up just a little bit. And in the end, the 00 NOS Energy Drinks machine of Linkowitz will move into second. This race getting underway very quickly. We're glad to have you with us on LSRTV this evening from the Lucas Oil Raceway. Tonight's Spring Brawl 125 on tap for 125 laps. That is 86 miles around this point, 686 mile per lap speedway. We talked about how flat this facility is. Power move now for P3. Ty Spearman's number 92 machine going down to the bottom. Justin Brooks Designs on that entry. This is side-by-side coming at it too. The track is so flat, you can almost relate it to a Kansas if you're running on the sim, where you got to go up against the fence. That is, in theory, the place to be. However, if you got a strong machine, the inside could be a viable option. That's what you're seeing right now. The 05 not doing all that hot. Up high is Ty Spearman, going to get around him. Here comes Jacob Linkowitz trying to catch up to James, who's already up to second position right now. Not a lot of luck, though, for this 05 machine, at least as they go right now. And again, because of that field inversions that 05 and Todd Cousins did not put down in time in their qualifier session, he was flipped up a little bit and started a lot further in the field than he would have if he actually did put down the time. So that's how you'll see a lot of comers and goers, especially in the early portion of this race. And now contact, 05 hard into the outside wall. Todd Cousins, they hang on to it, but a close call. Man, that 05 has been used up all race long already. It was Brian Tedeschi who went to the inside on him. They made contact. Both those cars slid up the hill. Cody Kelly's hell of a good short track racing network Toyota sneaking through down on the bottom in that number 75 machine to move up and take P7. But I tell you, Todd Cousins, I was just about to say, and you'll typically see this even if we go through our normal qualifier session. Stuff you'll see with RSR with us on LSRTV. The fact that you're either going to be moving forward or backwards. Regardless of qualifying, you might not get the lap that you think you deserve. Some guys might improve in comparison to practice. But again, long run speed, very different than going out there on the hot lap. So because of that, you'll see that these early portions of the race are really used to sort of balance things out and see who deserves to be running where and what would be an even running field. So everybody tries to find themselves in line as we work right now, but the 05 clearly going in the wrong direction. It doesn't help that that machine has damage. It's Derek Robinson's machine. That Chevrolet going to make a move. The number 8 car started in 7th. He'll take that spot back as he gets around that machine, and you see the 87 following through as well. Derek Holtzhausen moving up onto the field, started 15th. He already slots into what's going to be P9 very early on. 2 drivers that were scheduled to start, one of them not on the field right now, the 787, but Kyle Holtzhausen did not take the green flag. That car is parked on pit road and does not appear that he will be making it back to the racetrack, at least for now. May have some extracurricular activities going on there that may be causing some issues with his sim a little bit. But for the first time in the opening 12 laps now, things are single file at the Lucas Oil Raceway. Ty Majeski leads in front of the field in the number 91 machine. iRacing.com on the front of that. No surprise that Majeski taking those real-world super late model skills to the sim tonight and again got his start through iRacing and translating it through to a successful racing career in the field tonight. Another big name that you'll notice may not be here. How about our winner from last month's event that sits atop the championship standings? Justin Brooks, nowhere to be found after taking home the checkered flag. Tim Bills is the next closest driver. Bills came home with the 2nd place last time out for the Showdown 200 at South Boston. That one took place last month here on LSRTV. Well, Tim Bills in the SDP Petty Blue machine not running all that strong either. His Dodge Charger back in the pack started 9th, sliding back to 13th right now on the racetrack. So it shows you that you can be strong at a track like Sobo, very tight quarters. You put somebody on a track like this Lucas Oil Raceway, an absolutely different story, something completely different the way you have to drive this racetrack, and a lot of fast guys from last month struggling, and some guys that may not have had the results they wanted last week are doing very well, at least at the moment. But Ty Majeski leads. That gap was 1.1 seconds back to James Linkowicz, who has been able to get up to second. Was just about to start talking about the fact that that double O was going to be moving forward on him. Lost a 10th the last time around the racetrack. So that gap going to go from what was 1.1 seconds, closed it into 8/10, and now it is at 9/10 of a second. So that gap significantly dropping in comparison to what it was before. More battles now back in the pack, side by side for 14th. It's Paul Fouget up on the high side and Mike Belangelo. Contact, there they go, 85 up into the number 1 machine. Both cars go around. Caution flag is out, and we will slow them down for the first time tonight after that 85 just stepped it up the hill. They were fighting for what was going to be P14 on track, and obviously that one machine just got turned around. Caution flag is out, and the pace car rolling down the back straightaway, driven by Dustin Graham. You'll see the official pace car down the back straightaway, going to pick up Ty Majeski in this race. So trouble rather early on. If they're lap number 17 or so, the caution flag coming out here after trouble, and you'll see that number 2, we'll call it, the pace car, the official Ford Racing pace car up at the front of the field. Different than the iRacing.com Ford First Mustang pace car, they have the official ICARS Super Late Model Tour pace car up there in front of the field. Going to group up our leaders, and by having this manual pace car that they're actually controlling, it allows the league to be able to get things cleaned up on a caution at the rate that they want, get everything ready to go before they go back green flag racing. However, what this thing is going to do is it's going to take away that 9/10 of a second gap that Ty Majeski had just had over James Linkowicz. 16 drivers on the lead lap at the moment. Only driver off is that 85 of Mike Belanger. He is now out of the sim, and he is done for the evening. So his night going to come to a premature end tonight. We mentioned that Kyle Holtzhausen, the 787, never did make it to the grid either. That car scheduled to start 18th. Sits 19th. He's on pit road, but not going anywhere. So right now, 16 out of the 18 that started are on the lead lap as they go right now. Behind him, it's Linkowitz, Spearman, Linkowitz, and Kelly throughout the top 5. Matt Rolfe now takes over the top 5 spot. Cody Kelly going to come into the pit lane, and we'll talk about some interesting league rules with this series. If you're not familiar and you weren't with us 1 month ago at South Boston, a little bit different procedures as far as what you can and cannot do to these super late model race cars in comparison to many other series. For one is there's no fast repairs. A lot of the time you'll see series get limited fast repairs. Basically, you get damaged, come down, get a brand new race car. That is not an option tonight for any of these drivers. So you come down, if you get damaged, that's what you're working with for the rest of the evening. Also, manual pace car cautions. The fuel is also limited to 9 gallons, so you will see a lot more pit stops throughout a 125 lap race that we're about a sixth of the way through right now under our first caution flag. Also, right now, no tires, fuel only available for these drivers in this race, so no fresh Hoosier Racing tires allowed on. 2 to green, says the top of the pace car. Again, that number 2 machine of Dustin Graham piloting our Ford Falcon pace car, and we get set to go back green flag racing in just a moment from Lucas Oil.
All right, sorry I was a little bit late getting here, man. I just walked in the door, got on the computer here, and got logged in. So I'm here to help you out tonight, and just watching the 37 car, Tim Bills here, a couple laps before the caution came out, came really close to getting into a really bad one here with the, I believe it was the, who was he running with here? I'm trying to find it. I believe it was the one car they were running with there. Yeah, it was actually. They got in together there, got just about both of them around. They were both able to get it straightened out and head it back down the right way right before that caution came out. But I just noticed there was quite a bit of damage there to the front of the 37 car. He's got a lot of it fixed right now. He stayed in the pits for a little bit of an extended pit stop there. Got that damage fixed, and he's back out on the track now, and he's sitting here in the 9th position.
And we're going to go back green flag racing this time by Ty Majeski in control. Green flag at a quarter number 4 back underway at Lucas Oil Raceway. And no surprise, it is the iRacing.com entry choosing the high side on that one. Back to the point, great run through 1 and 2. Powers down the back straightaway. It opens up about a 2-3 car length gap. The same story as the single file inside the top 5. Does not translate for
another caution
back. That's the first fight.
Got another caution on the racetrack here. Looks like the 02 might have gotten into some trouble here on the backstretch. A lot of damage here to the front end of the car as he got sideways coming off the corner there, just nosed it into the wall on the inside.
That was Christopher Garnett's 02 Ford. Caution again, back out on the racetrack. I said the top 5 were single file, and it was 6th on back where it was not, and 13th counts as 6th on back. That's where that contact was. Garnett just got sideways. We talked about the lack of banking at this racetrack, how difficult it is to keep the back end of the car underneath you. We'll caution flag back out for that. He gets sideways, and I just mentioned that Tim Bills was the second highest driver after our season opening event. That was way back in the back. Well, that's the car that got turned around. The 37 STP Petty Blue Justin Brooks Designs Dodge Charger ended up in the inside wall. And we also had just mentioned that because there are no quick fixes, that is going to be some pretty major damage, and that team brings it down to the pit lane. Not sure though, Carl, if they'll ever even be able to get that thing back to full song after that, because it was a pretty good lick to the inside, and it got it on the quarter panel as well, so really the whole right side of that car torn up.
So we're going to be looking at 2 cars here that's torn up pretty bad now after that incident there with the Tim Bills car and the Christopher Garnett. Christopher Garnett looks like he took the worst of it, though. He's got a lot of damage here to the left side front quarter panel. You can see the front tire here on the left-hand side is also towed in quite a bit. Lost a little bit of camber on that also. So he's got a considerable amount of damage. He's going to be in the pits for a good amount of time trying to get that fixed also.
So 2 cautions back to back after we went the first 16, 17 laps caution free. This does take us to the 1/5 distance mark in this event, 125 laps on board. Again, if you're just joining us, it is round 2 of 10 on the 2015-2016 ICARS International Championship Auto Racing Series Super Late Model Tour tonight for the Lucas Oil Raceway at Indianapolis, the Spring Brawl 125, 125 laps on board. Around this point, 686 mile per lap oval, 86 miles total distance before we get to the checkered flag tonight. The weather right now, it's a constant weather, so nothing really active going on in that regards. It's 65 degrees, it's cloudy, so there is a lot of grip in comparison to if it was a day race and there was a lot of heat on the racetrack. So if anything, that helps them out a little bit with the handling tonight. We're going to double them up, and we get the one to go this time by. Winds to the southwest at 10 miles per hour. That can also be a factor, Carl, in the corners.
Oh, absolutely. Here, and as we get lined up now for a restart, it looks like Ty Majeski, is going to take the outside one more time. Best way to go on this racetrack here is take the outside to restart this. Best grip up there, and just listen to Christopher Garnett there over the radio. He was apologizing for that incident. He felt really bad there for getting into Tim Bills and getting Bills into that inside wall. That happens every once in a while. I mean, you're in the short track racing, you're going to get into somebody. It's just something that happens out here. These guys are getting ready to go green.
And a much better restart this time as the American Ethanol green flag flies for the 3rd time tonight. Second off of a caution flag. There was a lot better of a challenge that time by James Linkowitz. Not going to be able to keep it side by side with Ty Majeski, but it was close. Derek Holtzhaus in the 87. Once again, the first car in a side-by-side fight. He was fighting with the Key Smart number 51 of Matt Rolfe. That car did a single file things out, and then it is 9th on back where there's a huge pack. They were 2 wide, a couple of rows deep. 3 of them going to get it figured out side by side with the 7 of Brian Tedeschi, and up on the outside is Todd Cousins' machine, that 05 working damage from earlier on. Other than that, everybody in front of them single file for the moment.
Todd Cousins coming out of turn number 2 there, got it up to the outside wall, got a good bit of damage there to the outside of his car now as he goes back up one more time, just about hits the wall for a second time coming out of turn number 4, going down the front stretch.
The 91 really push it up and off the quarters as well. He's got Linkowitz all over him. Ty Spearman's number 92 started this race at 8th. He's up 5 spots to sit 3rd right now. That machine in the positive, and got a little bit loose there on the initial start of this event, but was able to keep it going in the right direction and sits 3rd right now. Real close to the outside wall, though. The 14 of Jacob Linkowitz just behind him, taking a significantly lower line, both in 1 and both down in 3 and 4 also. But these drivers not quite going up as high to the wall as they do in 1 and 2, then in 3 and 4. You'll see a lot of the time the racetracks, the corners, aren't exactly the same radius in comparison to each other. Even if they are, though, some drivers just like a little bit of a different preference. That's where you will see that little bit of variation. It's Majeski by 5/10. The next battle, I'll tell you, up in front of the field, going to be for P5. Here comes Cody Kelly's hell of a good short track racing network. Justin Brooks Designs as well on that Toyota Camry Super Late Model, all over the back of James Linkowitz's Cranberry Creek machine. He looks to the inside, not this time, but they're very close for 4th.
I've been watching Cody Kelly here for the last few laps, and he's been doing a great job making his way up through the field here now as he is taking a look down to the inside of the 14 machine. Not able to get anything done going down the straightaway here, but one more time he's going to take a look down going into turn 1 and 2, see if he can get anything done and move up another position.
00 machine, James Linkowitz, that NOS Energy Drink Toyota, going to lose a spot to Ty Spearman. So now it's the Linkowitz that's run in 3rd and 4th position. Jacob gets real tight off the corner, almost catches the wall in that number 14 machine. And I'll tell you, Cody Kelly was applying the pressure, and he's lucky that he was able to check that thing up in time also, or that could have easily been contact coming off of the quarter here when you guys struggle to get these machines to rotate, especially on quarter exit. So with that swap for P2, Ty Spearman moving up to 2nd. The gap between the top 2 is going to increase a little bit with that side-by-side battle that ensued for 2nd. Went up to 8/10, however, the last time by, with the 21.490 in comparison to Ty Majeski's 21.584. It is Ty Spearman starting to close in a little bit, and although Majeski did not start on the front row, he's led every single lap so far, working around some lap traffic down to quarter 1. Carson Obey can lose his first lap.
Real quick fight back here around 11th, 12th position as Paul Faget came out around the Todd Cousins car. They got a little bit of contact as they went as Paul went around it, but he was able to go on pretty good. But every single lap after that so far now, Todd Cousins has been up into that outside wall. Got a lot of damage here. He's having a real hard time coming off the turns, looks like, and he's pushing straight out to the outside walls. I mean, they're close to these walls as it is, and when you got that kind of a condition in your car where you're pushing, it's not helping any. You don't have a lot of room when you're coming up off those turns high like that.
12 drivers remain on the lead lap. Carson Obe follows the lap down. He keeps that machine down on the inside line to allow everybody to take the preferred way around. He'll take over what's going to be the lucky dog position. He joins Christopher Garnett 1 lap down, so both those drivers 13th and 14th, the only drivers off of the lead lap that are still on track. Brian Tedeschi, Tim Bills, Mike Belanger, and then again Kyle Holtzhausen and everybody. The grid are so far the drivers that are out of this race. But I'll tell you, Ty Spearman started in 8th position. Ty Majeski started in 2nd. Spearman closed it in very, very quickly in the qualifier session earlier on. Ty Spearman put down a 28.82 to Ty Majeski's 29.16. So the 92's been faster all night long. He so far had the past 6 cars, but he's really starting to close in on them now, Carl. And soon that 91, I feel, is going to be feeling the pressure for the 92 as he continues to work on him. One car that remains just a little bit off the pace right now is the Toyota Camry in 12th position, the 05 of Todd Cousins. Talked about that machine that started on the outside of row number 2 and was stuck up there for really the opening 15 laps or so, and because of that, he got a lot of damage after he made contact with somebody else in quarter 2. That machine remains to be a little bit off, maybe a couple of tenths per lap off the pace with the leaders, maybe a little bit slower than the guys in front of him. He's 9.2 seconds back, but when you're running 21-second lap times, nobody in an immediate risk, at least at the moment, of losing their lead lap status as they run right now. And Ty Majeski trying to pick up the pace just a little bit. Very quickly, though, progressing through this event. 125 laps on the board. We currently work lap number 43, and as we work on a green flag run, coming off of 2 caution flags so far, we're going to step away for the first time tonight on LSRTV. We'll return to the Lucas Oil Raceway in just a moment with the Spring Brawl 125 and the ICARS Super Late Model Tour.
in the outside, contact made, 56 slides it into 4, who's going to be at the stripe? Dead even, give it to Ryan Truex. Truex is your winner over Tandy.
Back live in pit stops, now in full swing. Race leader Ty Majeski has brought his iRacing.com machine down to the pit lane. That Ford Fusion now blending back up into traffic is going to fall off the top spot though significantly. Turning it over to the 92. Ty Spearman now sits atop the pile. We have a battle that's been going on for quite some time back here. Cody Kelly was trying to get around Jacob Linkowitz in there, and well, finally he got the job done, Carl, and he got more. Also passing Derek Holtzhausen, the 75. Humps gets up to second.
Yeah, Linkowitz was holding him off really good here for the past probably about 15 to 20 laps here. Kelly had a really hard time every time he gets to the inside. It looked like Linkowitz was just able to come off them turns and just pull him really good. He had to fall back in line, but finally Linkowitz got up into the outside wall there. That's what gave Cody Kelly the pass, is Linkowitz just got up in the outside wall, got a lot of damage to the car there. He is now pulled it off the track. He's into the pits now getting tires.
And now the question becomes, as Cody Kelly goes to the top spot, when does the 75 machine come down to pit? Trouble for the 92. Ty Spearman is on pit road. He came down for service, but is currently stopped. It is not taking fuel onto that number 92 machine. He does have some right side damage, and he missed his stall entirely, it looks like, Carl, because he shifted it into reverse, and I don't know if he can even get serviced onto that machine. He's trying to get it into his stall. That's going to be catastrophic for the 92.
Yeah, he's going to go down several laps now. He did miss his pit stall. He sat there for probably about a lap, almost a lap and a half maybe. Had to back up and get back into his pit stall, but he's now in his pit stall getting service, getting fuel. We'll see what happens here. He's going to fall several laps down, though, after this, like you said, catastrophic incident there on the pit road.
He was catching up at the front of the field, Ty Majeski, when he was closing in on him. You see the 91 pass by, at least 2 laps down, if not more. Goes from 2nd to 13th on the cycle of the pit stops. We saw some drivers come down to the pit lane earlier on in the race under a caution flag. Again, you cannot take on any new Hoosier Racing tires on these machines, so they're coming down for fuel, and that's it. And again, the fact that you're limited to 9 gallons increases the frequency of stops that you would have to make in this event. Halfway home this time by Cody Kelly's hell of a good Short Track Racing Network Toyota Camry is in front of the field. We'll give you very quickly our LSRTV mid-race break, and again, pit stop still in full swing, so this running order going to be very different in 20 or 25 laps. But right now it is Cody Kelly who sits inside of the top spot right now, P1. It's Derek Holtzhausen in second, only 0.6 of a second back, and maybe challenging not too long for now. Matt Rolfe is back in third position. Josh Reeves in fourth. It's fifth for Stephen F. Burnett. It's Paul Fagat in number 6 spot, and last car on the lead lap right now is the 05 of Todd Cousins. First car 1 lap down. The first car to come down pit road is Ty Majeski. He's followed by Jacob Linkowitz and James Linkowitz that round out our top 10.
Yeah, we're going to have Christopher Garnett now. He's going to be sitting 2 laps down here in the 11th position. Then we're going to have Kirsten. I'm terrible at names tonight, so sorry about this. But he's in the 49 car. He's sitting back here, 12th position, 2 laps down. 3 laps now, we're going to have Ty Spearman. Derek Robertson, he's sitting back here 19 laps down. And looks like Brian Tedeschi. You're going to have to help me with that one, too. He's sitting back here 35 laps down, 15th position.
And then from there on out, everybody else added this race. Tim Bills, Mike Belanger, and then Kyle Holtzhausen never made the grid out of the 18 that started. 7 are on the lead lap, but the fact that Ty Majeski is the first car 1 lap down makes the math very easy for us. You pit, you lose 1 lap. That's where it sits right now. So if everybody else needs to pit the same amount of times that Ty Majeski had to prior to this most recent stop, then that 91 is in the spot that will cycle back to being the race lead. We got a side-by-side fight. The number 51 of Matt Rolfe up onto the high side. He's going to get around the lap machine of Christopher Garnett. The 51 of Matt Rolfe. Carl, he is driving the Key Smart Toyota Camry, and that font on that car is Matt Rolfe through the iRacing sim. So the actual super late model that they scanned into iRacing was from that family's team racing shop.
Yeah, about 2 laps ago before he made that pass there, he bounced it off of the outside wall there a little bit, got some outside damage on the car. Not too bad, though. He was able to keep going, and he was able to make the pass there on Josh Reeves, and he's starting to pull away, so he's still in fine shape. Didn't do a lot of damage to it, except for maybe some cosmetic stuff there on the front quarter panel. Other than that, he looks like he's doing fine. But back up here in the front, though, we do have Cody Kelly. He is starting to pull away now a little bit from Derek Holthausen. Now he is about 7/10 of a second, ahead now.
And this racetrack, the Lucas Oil Raceway at Indianapolis, located in Brownsburg, Indiana, is owned by the NHRA. Not only does it have this .686 mile raceway that we're on tonight, they also have a drag strip. There's also a 2.5 mile road course, so a very diverse facility, we'll call it. Cody Kelly now has come down to the pit lane in the Short Track Racing Network number 75 Toyota Camry. He'll give up the top spot, and there's no tire strategy. Again, not talking about that. Very simple. Get the fuel in that car, fill it up as much as you can, 9 gallons or so, get back off the pit lane, do it in the shortest amount of time as possible. So without that tire strategy variant, well, these pit stop deltas should be about the same time or so. So with Cody Kelly pitting, Derek Holtzhausen goes to the top spot. You'll be able to tell where this puts Cody Kelly in line with everybody else. It's Ty Majeski right now, exiting quarter number 2. Cody Kelly blending up with the racetrack in the middle of 1 and 2. So that's where that 75 will go, in behind Ty Majeski, who we assume is going to become the race leader, assuming that everybody else needs to pit the same amount of times that the 91 had to, coming in to start off this first cycle of green flag pit stops. But really, Carl, you don't normally see the race leader be the first guy to pit. You might see somebody inside the top 5 try something, short pit. You might see somebody way back in the pack try something. You don't normally see the leader. He's normally the one that comes in maybe 5th, 6th, or 7th or so, and then everybody else comes in. So very interesting strategy for that number 91 team. Working right now, again, still the first car 1 lap down, but he's up to 5th as we still wait for Holtzhausen, Rolf Burnett, and forgot to pit. Matt Rolfe was a little bit damaged on the right side of that machine, and he continues to work with said right side damage. There's not a whole lot of sheet metal left on that. The right front exposed, but you take a look at his lap times. Last time a 22.0 to the race leaders 21.830. Not bad, all things considered, and these cars can take a little bit of damage. They're not quite as strong as a street stock, one of the more tank-esque vehicles on the sim here, but they can take a little bit, but you can't Kyle Larson ride the wall the entire race and expect it to work. But that Emerald Designs machine is working right now, falling off of Holtzhausen, and now one more car going to come down to the pit lane. It is the Jacob Linkowitz machine. Somebody else down, so that's going to cycle us from 4 to 3 cars on the lead lap right now. It looks like the number 1 machine may be coming down. Yes, that car coming in with Lions Club International on board, that Chevy SS. All winnings that Paul gets, he donates to that facility and that cause, and he brings that number 1 machine down to the pit lane for his service. That car a little bit torn up, right side damage, rear end damage, left side damage. He's got a clean nose on it, so if he wants, he can still perform a successful bump and run, but at least at the moment, he is down into the pit lane. He is followed immediately by Derek Holtzhausen, and that leaves Matt Rolfe, who just now exits the pit lane. And we officially now put a bow on this first cycle of green flag pit stops on the evening. Ty Majeski going to put that number 91 back to the number 1 position right now with iRacing.com on the hood of that Ford Fusion. He returns to the top spot after scoring cycles through. Still currently showing Derek Holtzhausen as the lead. Holtzhausen now out of the pit lane, exiting through quarter number 2. And Ty Majeski now exiting at a quarter number 4. We'll take a look on the gap. Cody Kelly should be in second in that STRN machine. He will be. The gap now between the top 2 is 1.3 seconds. Derek Holtzhausen 3.6 back in third. 4th position now, 5.8 seconds back is Matt Rolfe. And Jacob Linkowitz right now in the Cranberry Creek machine rounds out your top 5 right now. 45 laps to go at Lucas Oil Raceway at Indianapolis. Closing in on the checkered flag now in the final run of the Spring Brawl 125. Green flag pit stops have wrapped up, and Ty Majeski goes back to the point. Can he hold on, though, over his teammate and fellow competitor Cody Kelly? That number 75 machine going to be closing in on him as he tries to catch up. We'll step away, go LSRTV nonstop from Lucas Oil Raceway. Majeski and Kelly, the top 2. Back live, and the caution flag is out. Trouble down in quarter number 1 on lap number 86. It is the 0-2 of Christopher Garnett. That machine scored right now, 12th position, 3 laps down. Got sideways coming off the quarter, and it was down the back straightaway. He spun down into quarter number 3, gave a couple of swings at the wheel to try to keep it off of everything, and luckily for most people, everybody is able to get around it. Very close call for James Linkowitz. The NOS Energy Drink Toyota Camry just squeezing by, and Jacob Linkowitz having to go to the high side. That number 14 may have caught the outside wall trying to squeeze by on the outside. So the ICARS official Ford Falcon pace car going to come up at the front of the field and take control of us as we work right now. Ty Majeski as our leader on lap number, what's going to be late in this event, lap number 91 of 125. Pit stops, there may have been a little bit of question on if you can make it on fuel. Ty Majeski get a pit from first. Cody Kelly stays out. Derek Holtzhausen, Matt Rolfe all stay out. Jacob Linkowitz and James Linkowitz come down to the pit lane. So half of the top 6 on the lead lap come down to the pit lane. The other 3 going to stay out. And again, we said that some people had pitted on that early caution flag. That is what is going to allow them to go that little bit of extra distance and possibly make it all the way home. And this one time, Majeski wants to play it safe. He brings that number 91 iRacing.com Ford Fusion down to the pit lane to get service done to it. The 05 machine is in as well. And while the 14, the double O's down in the pit lane. So 3 of the lead lappers in, 3 of the lead lappers stay out. It's a split decision, and this is going to cycle things up for sure. This is going to put Cody Kelly now in first. Derek Holtzhausen will take over second, all followed by Matt Rolfe. Then we're going to find the fastest cars all night behind them. And Ty Majeski, besides the cycle of green flag pit stops, has led every single lap. He hasn't had to pass anybody quite yet. We'll see what that 91 can do in traffic. He'll be 4th.
Oh, I think I got some of the problems figured out here. Got it back online here. Sorry about that, Evan, but shut down on me. So I missed a little bit of that, but I'm back here now, and hopefully I can get back in the race here with you and keep going.
Pit road's still open at the moment as the officials make sure to monitor what everything is going on right now. Lucky Dog is the number 1 at the moment. That means that that car is the first car 1 lap in the negatives as they run at the moment. But again, 6 cars on the lead lap. Nobody loses a lap from pitting under the green flag conditions. Rather, nobody loses them from yellow flag conditions, as opposed to how we were talking about Ty Majeski fell a lap down from making that cycle during green flag conditions. There goes the wave by. So the number 1 machine going to join us back on the lead lap, and as that car gets around in the Lions Club entry Chevrolet SS of the number 1 car gets back around to the lead lap, that's going to give us number 7, going to be the magic number of cars on the lead lap. A more important number, though, Carl, is less than 30. Going to be right on that bubble for this ensuing restart. Lights off on top of the pace car. I think it's going to put us right at 31 laps to go in this event. And this entire running order has shuffled up. You now find Ty Majeski back in 4th. Can he do anything with it, or can Cody Kelly take it over the 87 control car here?
Cody Kelly's been strong here all afternoon. He has got his way up here to the front now, and he's getting ready to take the green flag, and he does. Nice restart there by Cody. Gets a little bit of a jump on Holtzhausen and Rolfe as he flies off in turn number 1.
He sails it off down to the quarter, side by side for second on back. That's where the fight starts. Derek Holtzhausen, the back end of that Ford Mustang, wiggling at a quarter number 4. He'll get second from Matt Rolfe. Now on the outside for third. Here comes Ty Majeski, squeezing up against the outside retaining wall on the right side of the 51 Toyota. And the outside, the place to be on a long green flag stretch. But early on, the bottom was where to go on a restart. They stay glued door to door now down the back straightaway. Finally, give it to Ty Majeski. He will take third, and he's got company coming with him. The 00 now of James Linkowitz wants to challenge up on the high side. He thinks about it, goes for a crossover, and he'll dive it down low. Now it's for 4th.
Really nice pass here, almost a pass here by the 00 of Linkowitz, but he was not able to make it up around James. James was able to hold his ground up there on the high side, so the give it to the 00, or give it, excuse me, to the Matt Rolfe car. Matt Rolfe is sideways down hard onto the inside wall.
caution flag is out. Huge trouble for the Rolf Designs Key Smart number 51 Toyota Camry of Matt Rolf. That car restarted in third position, and you know, it looked like he got a little bit loose off the quarter, Carl, and that was the end of the story. We have seen that happen a lot of the time tonight, especially out of quarter number 4. He did get sideways, but he saved it. There was a little bit of an extracurricular contact there. You were on board with the 00 as it happened. You saw the right front fender on the NOS Energy Drinks 00 of James Linkowitz get crumpled up when they hit each other. That contact is what sent the 51 in, and Matt Rolf went head-on into the inside of retaining wall. Heavy damage to the front of that car, and he had already found the fence a couple of times on the evening, so the machine wasn't necessarily 100%. He takes a tow to the pit lane. That may essentially be all she wrote, Carl, for that number 51 team. Tough break for that contact, and we slow them down once again and get set for a restart. That will be sub 25 seconds, sub 25 laps to go in this event. Going to be 25 to go this next time by around under the caution flag. We work lap 100 of 125 right now, and I can't say I didn't expect to go an entire race without any contact at a short track sign tonight. And we saw our first round of it there as those two drivers got together. And I feel like if they race as aggressively as they did on that last one, it may not be the last bit of contact we see come to the checkers.
No, absolutely not. These guys have been running very close quarters and very aggressively. But back to the Matt Rolf situation there. When he did hit the inside wall there, did blow his engine, he said there is no quick repairs on these cars. So once he went into pit road there, he had to tow it in. He was pretty much done with the race there, because like I said, I did see the engine blow out when he went in. Looks like he's going to try to do something though. He's still sitting in the car. He hasn't pulled himself out of the race yet, so the only time we'll tell, see if Matt Rolf will get back on the racetrack.
To try to get out there and get any points as possible. But we talk about this championship. Justin Brooks won with us 1 month ago at the South Boston Speedway for the Showdown 200. He enters tonight round 2 of 10 in this 2015-2016 campaign as our championship leader. Not going to matter anymore because Justin Brooks not in the field in that number machine that he started up and obviously took home the first win with on the season. Then we talked about Tim Bills, who entered tonight second in the points. That car has racked out. You look to Cody Kelly, who's at the top of the pile. He enters tonight back 8th in the points, 23 off of the top spot, so could be a huge night for that team after Cody Kelly ran strong at Sobo the last time we were out, but just did not get the result that he intended to get. The front row and conclude third in that mix as well. Ty Majeski, they still have clean cars. The 00 and pretty much there on back. Everybody's showing some sort of battle scars, but restart coming up this time by, and it looks like it's going to be right on the marker of about 23 laps to go when we get it.
Looks like Cody Kelly's going to go to the outside this time for the restart. We've seen this work here a couple times tonight, and it looks like he's going to do it one more time as they're getting ready to come off turn number 4 one more time. Take the green flag.
Green flag flies. Great restart by Cody Kelly. The 87 Derek Holtzhausen did not go 3 wide. Then they go contact. Ty Majeski around. The 87 car goes around. The 5, the 02. Big trouble down to quarter number 1. Caution flag is out. And just like that, 3 of the fastest cars in the race all night long scrapped. And trouble all began with a brilliant restart, really, Carl, for that 75 of Cody Kelly. He can go from when the pace car hits the pit lane to the green flag flies. He left. They went 3 wide because he absolutely caught that 87 of Derek Holtzhausen sleeping. Ty Majeski goes to the bottom in that number 91 car, and that's where all hell breaks loose. They are 3 wide on the front straightaway, and I don't think that Majeski knew that they were 3 wide because he came up and he hit Holtzhausen, and he hit Holtzhausen all the way up into the wall, pinching that 00 of James Linkowitz in the fence, who somehow sneaks on through there, but Majeski and Holtzhausen torn up, and it shows you that that caution flag we saw 20 laps ago that took away that big gap that Majeski had all race long, puts him in a spot where he had the pit, puts him back in traffic, and desperation starts to set in late. An aggressive move, but I think he just slid up a little bit. I don't think he knew that 00 was on the high side, but once he got into Holtzhausen, he couldn't get off of him, and he got hooked into the fence.
Well, I think a big part of the problem there was coming off the turn. He was down below the yellow line and just had nowhere else to go. Like you said, I don't think he did know that the 00 was on the outside. They were making it 3 wide. So the 87 had nowhere to go. He couldn't pull up the track, couldn't do anything, and Majeski just, like you said, got hooked onto him, could not let go. And but I think one of the big parts of that problem, though, is he did get down off that below that yellow line, got the car really, really loose, and it slid up the racetrack into the outside of the 87 car there of Holzhausen.
So Majeski hits the pit lane. He is joined down there now with the machine that we saw in an incident just earlier on. He's down there with Matt Rolfe as well. Ty Spearman at one point in this race was a competitor. He has now found himself 2 laps down. Is somebody going to steal this win now? Within 20 laps to go, Cody Kelly goes to the top spot. Kelly, always a fierce competitor. If you were with us on Thursday evenings a little bit earlier on in the year with the Upstate Racing League, you'll know that Kelly name running very, very strong. Him and Brooks, teammates. Justin Brooks not here, and Kelly was in a spot that he could have won at Sobo in last month's event. Tonight, he may want to be able to steal that, but he's got a Linkowitz group behind him, both James and Jacob running second and third. And look at some of these other names that have snuck into the picture. You got Paul Fouget, you got Josh Reeves, and Stephen F. Bennett. 3 more drivers that have been somewhat quiet on the evening are now up in the mix, as they're the other 3 of the 6 cars that are on the lead lap now via some wave-bys.
Well, they're getting ready to double them back up here, getting ready for another restart. Right now, out of the cars that are on the lead lap, Cody Kelly is the nicest looking car out there. He's still nice and clean. Everybody else has got a lot of damage on their race cars, so he's going to be probably one of the strongest as far as handling goes there, because he has nothing going on the race car right now. He looks really good, nice and clean. So let's see what Kelly can do coming off this turn number 4 here for the restart. He's going to fall back a little bit, and he's going to get a nice little look like he's going to try to get a nice little start here on the 00 as he's sitting on the outside one more time. Really nice restart by the 75 car, Cody Kelly.
That 00 trying to guess it. He got a little bit ahead. And contact behind them. The number 1 machine hard into the outside wall. Side by side with the 05. They just brushed up against it and got pinned. So far, I don't think there is a caution on the track. No, the pace car still sits down on the pit lane. We stay green. But what happened was James Linkowitz, that NOS Energy Drinks Toyota, got a little bit in front of him trying to guess that restart. It did not work. He had to check it up, and that allowed Cody Kelly, who, by the way, masterfully got through those gears. Already 7/10 of a second is good. This next time around, he'll get 16 laps to go. Not sure if that's a gap that anybody can close in on in such limited amount of time. Jacob Linkowitz rides 3rd. Josh Reeves sits 4th. Stephen F. Bennett is 5th. That 1 machine, though, got in contact on the drop to the green flag there. He got turned into the fence by the 05 machine behind him. That car got contact, and that was Todd Cousins laps down. Tough break for Paul Fouget there in the number 1 car, who ended up in the fence, and he keeps it going, but does slip to 5th.
Cody Kelly's doing nothing but pulling away now. He's up to almost a full second lead over the Linkowitz boys, and looks like he is just going to run away with the rest of this race now, because like I said before, he's the cleanest car out there. No damage hardly at all on that car. Linkowitz, on the other hand, quite the opposite there. Damage on both sides of the car. Looks like the left side tire is a little bit towed in on there a little bit, but he's going to do everything he can to try to catch him, but I don't think he's going to have anything for Cody Kelly for the rest of this race, unless something happens where there's a caution or Cody Kelly slips up. It looks like he might have this race won.
And still definitely the possibility of a caution flag because they are manually controlled. They could red flag it and go back green if we're in a position where the caution flag would fly very late in this event. You're not restricted to the 4 mandatory laps depending on what race control would I do. Sideways, Josh Reeves, the number 54 hanging on, but that Brandt Chevrolet got real squirrely off of the corner as he rides it forward. Now he's sideways again in 1 and 2. That car driving on black ice, just trying to hang on to it.
Looks like Josh Reeves is on a dirt track out here as he's getting that car really slideways coming out of the race, out of the corners here, doing a great job holding on to it. But that's not how you're going to get it done at this race, at this kind of a racetrack. The only thing that's happening to him here is he's just falling back more and more every time that happens to him because he's just so loose. He's not able to hold on to it. But he's able to gather it back together coming out down the straightaways. But as soon as he goes into the turn there, you can see that car wanting to skip out sideways one more time.
The number 5 machine of Stephen F. Bennett just got back to the lead lap for that last restart. His car is now down on the pit lane in the SNGFX.com number 5 machine. He is now out of this one as he sits down for extensive service on that car, trying to limp it around with the damage that he had and was unable to do so and was forced down to the pit lane. The gap up front continues to grow. 10 laps to go at the Lucas Oil Raceway at Indianapolis, and it is Cody Kelly, 1.4 and counting in the positive over James Linkowitz, followed by Jacob Linkowitz, Paul Fouget, and then as well Josh Reeves throughout the top 5. They're the only drivers on right now that are on the lead lap. Everybody else multiple laps down, if not out of this spring showdown, the spring brawl 125 event. Curly, again, Carl, we're starting to get down to the point where people are starting to spread out. You don't expect the caution flag to fly, and it's starting to look like, unless that 75 makes some sort of drastic mistake, it's his to lose at this point. That Camry looking real good, and he's pulling 1 to 2 tenths every single lap on those guys behind him.
Yeah, it looks like everybody's starting to spread out pretty good here now. I don't think you're going to see any more changes for position unless something drastic happens between somebody here maybe getting an outside wall, which is very likely to happen, because I've seen it happen several times here where, especially with James Linkwitz, he's been out to the outside wall here 4 or 5 times in that NOS energy drink machine, and anything could happen. But right now, it's looking like it's just going to go just the way it sits here. Probably how we're going to finish this race up.
Still pulling away. You might see that gap almost even close down as we get down to these final few laps, as that 75 team knows that they have that ability. Something that you talk about a lot on a fuel run. The further away you are, you can save more fuel. Well, just don't push the car as hard if you are that 75. Take it easy. Just get to the checkered flag. That could very well be the objective of Cody Kelly right now, but still on the accelerator and gaining speed. There's only 7 guys left on the lead lap, throwing 8 if you include Derek Holtzhausen, who's now 9th position, 10 laps down after being in the conversation for fighting for this checkered flag just a handful of laps ago. Everybody on the lead lap, 1st through 5th. Ty Spearman, 2 laps down, and that is it if you include Carson Obe, 8 laps down in 7th, and then Derek Holtzhausen, as we mentioned, in 9th position. But major players, the big story, Ty Majeski led every single lap, excluding the green flag pit stops, but he dominated this event. Did not have enough fuel, and although he may have brushed it off early when we saw a couple of guys come down pit road for fuel, no tires are in this series. It's just about getting that tank filled up, 9 gallons the maximum. Didn't really think of it earlier. That allowed these guys, including Cody Kelly, to stay out. Majeski went back in traffic and then found himself in trouble, as they went 3 wide, made contact, and they all ended up in the outside wall, and that opened the doors wide up for Cody Kelly. 2 laps to go this next time by.
Just a couple more laps, a few more turns for this Cody Kelly number 75 machine, as he's looking really, really strong here at the end. He's now pulled out a little over 2.5 second lead over James Walensky and the Jacob Walensky number 14 machine. Sitting now in the 3rd position, Paul Fouget sitting back here in 4th. 10 seconds back is going to be Josh Reeves. He's that's the last car, number 54 on the lead lap.
Less than a mile to go at the Lucas Oil Raceway at Indianapolis. He'll take the white flag. Green flag remains in the air. This race now official. Down to 1 and 2. There's no lap traffic in the way. There's nobody that is going to get in his way. It is going to be Cody Kelly. 2 quarters to go after qualifying back in 6th position on time. Was forced to start in 12th with a field inversion. Capitalizes late on a caution. Stays out for the checkered flag. And the 75 of Cody Kelly goes to victory lane in Indianapolis. He is your winner in the Spring Brawl 125 at round 2 of 10 with the ICARS Super Late Model Tour on LSRTV. He takes it over James Linkowitz, Jacob Linkowitz, Paul Fouget, and Josh Reeves throughout the top 5. Strategy, though, got him that one. And as he stops it on the front straightaway, he's going to celebrate and burn that number 75 down. It was his teammate Justin Brooks who won it last month at South Boston. Cody Kelly going to sit atop the pile this evening in the hell of a good dip Short Track Racing Network Fast Track Sims, and we'll say him all, Justin Brooks Designs machine on the front straightaway. Your winner tonight on the Short Track Sunday night in Lucas Oil Raceway. And Carl, you know, you talk about short track racing, you think about the contact. Well, we saw that. We saw the bump and go. We saw big incidents, and we saw late race drama. But really what put Cody Kelly in a position, throw the great driving in there as well, because he drove his ass off to get there. But coming down pit road, being able to stay out on that last stint, and then never looking back. Plus those great restarts at the end that he had also.
Yeah, Kelly did a great job there. Like you said, he drove up through the field there, starting in the 12th position, and just made it look easy tonight. He came home with a win. Very little damage on that race car. Unlike the rest of the field, I don't think there was anything left in the field that didn't have damage on it. But the Cody Kelly car does come home with the win.
And we will step away for a moment as they roll that number 75 into victory lane. The post-race show on LSRTV in just a moment. We'll try to get a word with Cody Kelly and some of the other drivers in this one. The 75 victorious in the Spring Brawl 125. Post-race action from the Lucas Oil Raceway coming up in just a moment on LSRTV.
In the outside, contact made, 56 slides in at a 4, who's going to be at the stripe, dead even, give it to Ryan Truex. Truex is your winner over Tandy.
Cars are lined up on the grid. PRE.com World Championship Grand Prix Series. We are underway. They all come down into turn one for the first time.
Tandy, what a move. Truex in the outside, contact made. 56 slides it into 4. Who's going to be into stripe? Dead even, give it to Ryan Truex. Truex is your winner over Tandy.
Back live at the Lucas Oil Raceway in Indianapolis for the second race on the 2015-2016 ICARS Super Late Model 2 with the Spring Brawl 125 has come to a close. You're with us on the post-race show on LSRTV, and going to talk to some of the drivers that came home with some decent finishes tonight. And to get things kicked off, we've caught up down in the pits with the driver of the number 14 machine with Jacob Linkowitz. Jacob, you got a copy?
Yep.
You guys started this race in 5th. You came home in 3rd position, and it seems like a pretty straightforward night when you look at the numbers. It was anything but. You were up in the wall riding it, trying to avoid wrecking cars at one point down in quarter number 3. How'd you keep that Cranberry Creek machine on track when others weren't as fortunate and able to get away with the podium tonight?
Yeah, I got really lucky there when those 2 cars got tangled up in front of me. Lucky enough to not get too much damage to where my car wasn't bad, but I'll get in there.
It worked out. We saw the outside always. You talk about Lucas Oil Raceway. Everybody thinks the outside the place to go. On the start, everybody was making moves down low. And then on a late race restart, everybody was making moves up high. How was it navigating these cars around? And, did you notice any additional challenges maybe when that car wasn't quite showroom quality after a couple of beats and bangs, and how you had to navigate it around here?
Yeah, definitely later in the run, it was getting loose. So I moved up more high and tried to shoot down and get a better run off instead of running low. It definitely got a little crazy there at the end with the looseness.
Late race restarts coming down to it. We saw Ty Majeski, who dominated a lot of this race. He pitted, ended up a little bit behind some guys, and then there was quite the incident there, and sneaking through a lot of it. And the shot fleet opal came there at the end. Cody Kelly running away late. Did you think you had anything for some of those guys in front of you, or you think P3 is where this 14 should be at the end of the night?
I think definitely P3. If I didn't get caught up in that wreck earlier, maybe I would have been a little bit better. But other than that, it was definitely a P3. I was way too loose to do anything there.
You guys made your first start here tonight. Weren't with us last month at South Boston for the first race, the Showdown 200. You guys going to be running the rest of this 2015-2016 campaign?
I'll try to make it out as much as I can. I like to run it. That was a cool race.
Well, it's a solid finish for you guys tonight. Sponsors, shout-outs, all those good people. Jacob, people behind the scenes. Who makes it happen?
I'd like to thank my brother. He helps me out with setups, the posse, everybody that runs along with us.
All right, well, thanks for taking a moment to talk to us. Again, congrats on that top 3 for you and the team as well, and we hope to see you next time out.
Yep, thank you.
So Carly was talking about the brother. Well, that driver came home one spot in front of him. You're just one pit stall behind me. The car that started in 6th and the car that comes home in 2nd. You've caught up with the driver of the 00. You're down with James Linkowitz.
Caught up with the 00 here, James Linkowitz. Great finish tonight there. Started 6th on the field, finishing 2nd. Looks like you've been running in a short track race here with some of that damage you got on the front out of that car. How's the car feeling tonight?
The car was really good. Just didn't know what it had in the long run with that long of a run on the same tires. But even with the damage in the front, I think we're only about a 10th off the leader. So I guess we'll take 2nd.
On that last restart there, Cody Kelly took the outside to restart this race there. Looks like he got a little bit of a jump on you and was able to just walk away with the race there at the end.
Yeah, he had great restarts, and there was nothing I could do about it. The car with the damage, I think the arrow was off and just couldn't go anywhere.
Well, we were talking about the handling of the cars. How did the car feel there towards the end of the run? Did the car feel like it was starting to get looser, or was it tightening up on you? How was the car feeling there towards the end of this race today?
The car was pretty consistent throughout the whole run, and then until it got the damage on it, that's what kind of screwed it up. But other than that, I mean, I can't really complain. It wasn't really loose at all. And I think the weather played a factor in that as well.
Well, like I said, you started out 6th today, finished in the 2nd place with the NOS Energy Drink car. Any shout-outs anybody you need to thank for this race today?
Yeah, I just want to thank my team, the posse, especially Ty Majeski, Ty Spearman, my brother Jacob that ran tonight. They helped me out a lot, and I appreciate their help. And definitely helped out tonight with the run ahead.
Well, congratulations on your second place finish.
Thank you.
All right, I believe Evan has caught up with our winner.
We've caught up in victory lane with the name that is no stranger to these short tracks. It is Cody Kelly's number 75 who takes home the checkered flag tonight at the Lucas Oil Raceway in the Spring Brawl 125. Cody, it was an adventurous night for you. Had a solid car and were forced to start back in P12 there on the grid. Did a decent run through the field, and then you found yourself up front late, and about 2 or 3, I think, killer restarts you guys got there on that 75 team that were just able to propel you guys forward. What was the night like as a whole from the start of this and the drop of the initial green flag all the way through the checkered flag to be able to take this one home?
Yeah, it was really fun coming through the field, but I just took my time coming through the field and didn't try to push anything, save tires, and just took my time. And on those pit stops, I gained like a couple positions, and I had a really good pit stop on the green. And we just had some really, really good restarts and started up front and finally got out to first. And it just went from there. It was great.
You guys are able to hang on to it. Cool temperatures this evening at the Lucas Oil Raceway. So for a track that is very flat and therefore doesn't have a lot of lateral grip, we saw a lot of guys getting sideways, but that 75 almost seemed like to be like it was quite on rails tonight. Did you, have a race car that was perfect, or were you just fooling us and making it look like it was nice and snug?
Oh, it really was nice and snug. I didn't get loose, I don't think, any at all. That it was really good. Justin Brooks did a really nice job on the setup. I want to thank him for that.
And he won the last time we were out here. You didn't quite get the result that you wanted in the end of that one. You now come into the second race on this 2015-2016 campaign. You take home a checkered flag. Got to be looking good now with 8 to go.
Oh, yeah. I hope I win the championship.
It's not a next week type deal. It's really next month, the next time we'll see you guys out here with the ICARS Tour. So it's a very different series. You're going to be doing a lot of racing in between now and then. But, you look forward on this super late model tour schedule. We're going to be going to the Milwaukee Mile next time out. That one going to be coming up Sunday, June the 28th. Same time, same place here. So that is your winner this evening. Cody Kelly, the number 75 Short Track Racing Network machine, goes to victory lane. Now down, we're going to speak with the driver that comes home in 8th position. You're down on the pit lane with the driver of that 87, Carl Jones. You've caught up with Derek Holzhausen.
Yeah, we're standing down here with Derek Holzhausen. After a 8th place finish tonight, started 15th on the field, 10 laps down. Kind of a little bit of a disappointment, I think, on where you wanted to finish, though. How did the race go for you today, and how was the car?
Went great. Car was great. Thank you guys for broadcasting it. It's always a great time when you do. Got to thank Kyle and ICARS for putting it on. But the car was fantastic. We had a great race, and just an unfortunate incident on a restart is all.
Yeah, you were running strong there for most of the race, and just like you said, just had some unfortunate circumstances on a restart there. Put you 10 laps down in the race. You were able to still manage an 8th out of it. Not a terrible loss. Still finished in the top 10. Anybody you want to thank tonight for the race? Any sponsors? Any shout outs?
Yeah, you guys are always awesome. And like I said, ICARS, they put on a great race. We had some long green flag runs there. Everybody was racing very clean. We had a fun run.
And that's Derek Holzhausen. He's finished 8th on the field today, 10 laps down. Great race he had today, but just unfortunate happenings there during a restart got him 10 laps down. But like I said, he was able to muster out an 8th place finish. Not a bad finish for him though, Evan, after a race like that.
They'll take it, and it was a conservation mode type result, but you talk about that restart, another driver that the number at the end of the night does not match where they started and maybe where they should have been. Coming home with 11th tonight, we're on the pit lane. We've caught up with the driver of the 91 Ty Majeski. Ty, up front, caution flag flies late, takes away that lead that you had worked. You had to come down the pit lane, you topped her off on fuel, and next thing you know, things got pretty crazy down there in corner 4 on a restart. What happened from behind the wheel?
Yeah, first of all, I just missed the pit strategy a little bit. I didn't realize that you could have made it on 2 stops after that lap 20 caution, and the 4 of us teammates stayed out, and the rest of the field came in, and ended up getting a little off sequence on fuel, but yeah, I still had a chance to win the thing at the end. I don't know if Derek missed a shift or started in the wrong gear, but he was really struggling on the restarts, and I was just trying to make something happen because the restarts are the easiest time to make up track position. So I guess I was just kind of going for it, and I didn't realize we were 3 wide, and kind of went up like Derek was out next to the wall, but there was another car out there and just made contact, and unfortunately tore up a few race cars.
And that happening late, we talked to Cody Kelly. He started back in 12th en route to this win, and you were looking on track to lead every single lap if you exclude that cycle of green flag pit stops in which you came down to kind of get that cycle kicked off and all of that. You come home at the end of the night in 11th. Obviously not what you guys were looking for. We were talking with Cody, and he was telling us, just how difficult it is to pass at this Lucas Oil Raceway. It's not a very stable track when you talk about lateral grip, but it was a cool temperatures tonight. He said he loved his 75. We could tell that 91 was working pretty good for you, but you come down to a late race restart like that. Is that just the factor that plays into that contact that you can't sit behind that 87 because you might not get another shot at him?
Yeah, exactly. And like I said, he restarted before that. He restarted second, and I was behind him in fourth, and he just got a really bad restart then too. So I don't know if he just had a different gear ratio or whatever the case was, but he really was struggling on the restarts, and I saw an opportunity. It was either to do that or get passed by 2 or 3 more cars on the outside, and I guess I just decided to go for the win, and unfortunately tore up some cars. But yeah, we had really good car, probably the car to beat or one of the cars to beat. I know after one of the pit cycles cycled through, and Cody was in second. I was leading. I was pulling away from him ever so slightly, and still trying to save my tires at that time. So I felt like we had at least the car to finish second or even win it.
He takes it home tonight, and he was a car that was strong last time out at Sobo last month. He did not get the result he wanted. He comes back, takes home the win tonight. You don't get the result that you wanted and or deserved tonight. That was a fast 91 that we probably should have talked to about 5 minutes ago down in Victory Lane. You come home 11th, though. Are you going to be back for some future races here on this 2015-2016 campaign with these guys? Get some redemption?
Yeah, absolutely. I guess it just depends on how my real-life racing schedule works out. I couldn't make it to South Boston. I forgot where I was racing real cars, but couldn't make it to that one. And I was home on this Sunday afternoon and decided to come race. I had nothing else to do, so hopefully I'll be able to make a few towards the later stretch of the season.
When you talk about that real race, and that's a familiar-looking Ford Fusion down there on the pit lane. Before we let you go, who makes that 91 work?
Well, I guess everybody on the posse. I didn't have too much practice today, so Ty Spearman and the Linkowitz brothers had a pretty good setup for me, and made my own changes off of it. And thankfully, we had a really good car. Unfortunately, like you said, it wasn't the result we wanted.
Well, thanks for taking a moment to talk with us, Ty. Again, congrats on what was a good first half of the race for you guys. Best of luck in all the real-world things, and we hope to see you next month at the Milwaukee Mile.
All right. Thanks, Evan. I appreciate it.
Again, that is the driver that started in second, dominated early on in this event. It has to settle for an 11th place finish. Ty Majeski comes home at the end, 22 laps in the negative after being the dominant car early on in this event. He wins over James Linkowitz and Jacob Linkowitz. Paul Fouquet and Josh Reeves round out the top 5. They were the only 5 to finish on the lead lap in this one. And after Justin Brooks won last week, his teammate Cody Kelly takes it home, and only a fifth of the way through this 2015-2016 ICARS Tour. For more information on the tour, go to icarstour.com. 1 month one race every month here on LSRTV, as opposed to every week. So keep up to date on their schedule on their website or through all of us. Keep up to date with LSRTV online at livesimracing.com or through our Facebook at facebook.com/livesimracingtv. Until then, that does it from the Lucas Oil Raceway at Indianapolis. On behalf of the broadcast crew tonight, myself, Evan Pasoko, Carl Jones, and executive producer Laura Lawson. Congratulations to Cody Kelly, your winner in the Spring Brawl 125. We'll see you next month for the next ICARS race, Sunday, June the 28th, with the ICARS Super Late Model Tour for the June Dairy Days 100 from the Milwaukee Mile. We'll see you then.